Second.
Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Okay. Presumably any nays aren't attending. So, okay. Then introduce members of the public. Let's see. We have two people who are well known to us, but who are not official Energy Committee members. One is Thomas Barron. He's from the Planning Committee. And one is Barry Margolin, who's an energy activist in the area and who's from YCAN and 350.org Cape Cod. Welcome, both of you. And I guess we can get started now. Madam Secretary, how about those minutes?
I resent them with the minor change that was made, and I have not heard any comments.
Oh, okay. Do any of you have any feedback for Madam Secretary about the minutes?
No.
Nope. And we only had a small edit on the Cape Lake Compact language, so as far as I'm concerned, the minutes are perfect.
I'll make a motion to
I
approve
move
the minutes.
to accept the minutes as amended. Or
I'll
Second.
Second. Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed?
Cape Lake Compact
Sorry, what?
language. So, as far as I'm concerned,
Oh, the you know what I just realized, Mel. I think I have and somebody else, but I couldn't tell the voice, has an earlier version of the minutes that has the audits done by phone, but that's what Marilyn has substituted text for from the compact. Okay.
Okay,
You
by
sent
me.
out an agenda, Joyce?
Is it on the agenda?
Did you send out an agenda?
Yes. Yep.
You did? I don't think I caught.
No,
I didn't get
I
it.
didn't get one. I got mine off the
If you are
town
signed,
website.
No, website.
if you
Yeah.
are signed up for the Energy Committee subscription on the town hall, that will automatically send it to you.
But they also got it with this invitation. It was page 2 of this. I mean, Rich had the
Rich?
invitation, and
Okay.
that came shortly after the 2-pager that had the whole thing about the public meeting announcement on the letterhead. This was a midday Friday thing because Marilyn, Sandy and I were on the phone and doing things by email with the IT director, then finally with Dan and Rich, because it turned out that they had thought we could host this because we had Zoom accounts, but of course we weren't allowed to host a town meeting on a personal Zoom account. So that went back and forth for 13 emails, perhaps, Thursday and Friday. But you would have gotten it by midday Friday.
I got Rich's invitation, but I don't see a agenda.
Do you want me to resend it to you then?
The agenda?
Sounds like I'd better. Let me see what we have coming up next. Cape Lake Compact update. The first, next meeting of the Compact is going to be by remote, and it's a week from tomorrow. We don't really have any news other than that the virtual home energy audits are going forward, and it's looking like that's going to be pretty long term. So I'll turn it over to Steve for the CVEC report, and I've got my phone right here, and I'll resend the agenda.
Okay, thank you. 2 items. One, I've been, Liz Argo and myself have been communicating with Rich Bienvenu regarding parcel E. That's at the transfer station over by the septic treatment area. And it's in regard to resolving an issue, a setback issue that involves the health director. I've spoken to one of the persons, the chair of the health committee, Rich and I and Liz are going to have a FaceTime call tomorrow to discuss this. I also asked that the health director be involved in that call. So that hopefully will move that forward. The other item I'd like to mention is we have been going through the interview process for Liz's eventual replacement. And we hope to, within the next month or so, probably the end of this month, where we have we'll be having a full board meeting. We'll discuss it at that point in time at the full board meeting and reach an agreement as to our selected candidate. So that's basically it from CVEC.
Did you get a lot of applications?
The application, they were somewhere between 15 and 20 applicants.
Wow.
The persons who reached out to us.
Wow.
Any more questions for Steve? Steve, are you going to have any retirement event for Liz Argo?
Well, she'll be continuing as the manager or director of CVEC for some period of time, probably till the end of the year, and then she'll be in a consultant capacity beyond that. So there'll be
So she misses a retirement party until she's out the door for the very last time, even on a part-time basis.
Yeah, I'll keep everybody informed when there is a celebration. It may be a virtual celebration, the way things are going.
Oh, yeah. This is looking like a more long-term thing, which is a nightmare to me, and I'm sure to you as well.
I have a brother who spun out a retirement consultancy for 2 years.
Yeah. So, I mean, one could age out of one's retirement party and have it in a nursing home at that rate. Good grief. Okay. Well, thank you for that update, Steve. You know, we think highly of Liz, and we would want to be a part of any festivities that we're involved in honoring her.
I'll keep that in mind. Thank you.
Okay. Now we take a look around town staff update on town energy progress if available. We know that they're flat out getting ready for the Board of Selectmen meeting tonight. So we move to Mike Duffy, schedule adjustment for Yarmouth Solarize Plus to 2021. Recognizing Mike Duffy and Steve Krinsman on the unlucky pandemic year in which Solarize Yarmouth has landed.
Yeah, it just makes sense to move it. Are you
Okay,
there?
go ahead, Steve.
Am I there?
Yep, you're there.
Yes.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay, good.
Can you give a more precise time frame for those who haven't been involved in the meetings about this, just so everybody will have a sense of when we're going to launch?
You're asking me, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, either of our solar co-coaches, jump right in there, Steve, Mike.
Okay. Well, let's see. I don't have that proposed schedule right in front of me, but basically the idea was we would not get an installer on board until the 1st of January, which would mean that the RFP would go out, I guess, in December sometime. And it would probably be March to April before we got into full implementation. But a number of things that I want to bring up today. Yes, question, somebody?
I thought I heard one.
No.
Okay, a number of things I wanted to bring up today, especially, with regard to the schedule. we in our last conference call with the Mass CEC, we had a number of discussions about the marketing outreach and what we might want to start doing. So one of the things I'm working on right now is developing a responsibility matrix that would list all of the volunteers we have versus the things that need to be accomplished. And I took a first crack at putting check marks in the various cells there to show who I would be expecting to do what. And I will send that out and give everybody an opportunity to accept, reject, add, delete to that matrix with regard to their own wishes and what they want to do, especially over the near term. And the near term, I would suggest, is May through August. And what I will be doing this week as well is fleshing out the details from that proposed schedule to show what it is we should try to accomplish over the next 4 months. And I will send that out to everybody for their review and comment. With regard to the marketing outreach, we had quite a bit of a discussion with CEC on that, and they put out this PV 101 that would never work as far as I'm concerned, as far as communicating with the general public here in Yarmouth. So what I had suggested then and have been working on since was to create a list of questions that would be pertinent to these potential solar customers. And I went through and did some Google searches and found quite a number of questions that installers like to ask their individual customers. So I've got a list of those questions that, again, will be going out to the volunteers this week for review, comment, additions, and deletions. And I will also start identifying the types of slides that I think would be relevant to each one of those questions, pulling some off of the CEC package and maybe some others that I can find elsewhere, like from the U.S. Department of Energy and NREL, places like that. Okay, we also had a little talk about the Solarize Yarmouth logo, and I did a little digging around on that, starting with seeing that the town of Yarmouth has a nice little circle logo. The Outer Cape has a nice little logo of their own that they put on things. And I found at least 3 different logo designers on Cape Cod that we could perhaps work with. We got some of this marketing money to have them develop a logo for us. So we'll continue to talk about that with the volunteers. An email came out from the CEC on press release, and apparently they have, who is it? It's the Office of Energy and Environmental Affairs, works with Mass CEC to prepare these formal press releases for Heat Smart and Solarize Mass. I guess because of the pandemic, they've backed out of doing any of that this year. So I guess we're on our own with regard to preparing a press release. And the options, as I see them right now, are we could prepare one and announce it soon being in a month or so. We could announce it at the fall town meeting, which I think is probably my preferred. Or we could announce it when the installer is selected. Those are all potential, or at least the first and last, are potential recommendations from CEC. So at our next conference call, we'll be discussing that. But in the meantime, you might be thinking about that, volunteers, as to when you think a good time to make a press release announcement on this. If we don't want to get too far ahead of the game and just waste it, we want to basically, I think, tell them about it when we're in a position to do something good and provide them with some good information. And the final thing that I have to say about Solarize Yarmouth is the next conference call is scheduled for May 27th. And it looks like CEC has established that using Microsoft Teams. Is that what, I don't know if is that what we used last time, or did we use Zoom? I don't know. I've had so many of these meetings.
Microsoft Team, except that I called in, but I remember most of you run Microsoft Team.
Okay, so that's what they're proposing again, May 27th. That's it. That's all I had.
Okay, so
Can I offer one?
I assume general relief about not trying to enroll people while they're in quarantine.
Well, oh, as customers, no, but as volunteers, yes.
Can I offer one comment?
Absolutely.
Great, because I thought last month, unless I'm dreaming, that we kind of adamant that we shouldn't stop people from getting solar on their roofs over the next year, like, because people could be, if we did do a press release and announced it, people could just wait. And was that this conversation, or was that with YCAN, that we shouldn't be doing a press release and letting people know that something's coming in a year or so? That would be a better deal than what they could get now, because they can still get solar now, and we'd hate to slow it down. So my thought would be that we don't want to do press releases until we're ready to do kickoffs and have something to announce other than that's coming in a year. So did we have that conversation?
No, I think, personally, I think if we have a town meeting in the fall, I think that would be the perfect time to announce it. That would be well after anybody wants to get it installed for their summer cooling.
Yeah,
and
that
it
sounds
won't be
good.
too far from when we'll be looking to get an installer on board.
Nice.
I'm going to, in my responsibility matrix, identify and appoint Joyce to somehow get us on the town hall meeting in the fall.
Now remember that there has to be an article. So you're
Right now, the meeting is being
okay.
recorded.
I can say that.
Thank you for your patience, everyone. We're resuming the Energy Committee meeting, which got interrupted by the opening of the executive session of the Board of Selectmen at 5. Apparently, there is a limit to how much Zooming one town can do simultaneously. We were talking about the Solarize Plus project, and I think, Mike, with what you were saying about thinking about the timing of the press release, and maybe we should be letting that go till the fall and the time of the special town meeting. You'll want some writing volunteers for that, I assume, but probably toward the end of the summer.
Well, there's no reason we can't start writing immediately with an eye to having it finished and everything by the end of the summer.
Okay, so you think enough things about the climate crisis and the weather on Cape Cod will still make this relevant no matter when we write it?
I don't know. I don't understand that, but no sense in putting off till tomorrow what we can do today, especially while we have lots of time on our hands at home.
Good thought.
Speak for yourself.
I'd just like to say about Sandy, who's busily calling Marilyn now to get her online. I mean, this is Sandy in Florida. I mean, can we just all give her a lot of applause when she comes back? This is insane.
I know.
Okay, are
And
there any
Mary-
other questions about Solarize Plus? I notice we're missing one solar co-coach, so.
Yeah, I was going to say that the message that offered the new Zoom link didn't actually say that we were reconvening, and I guessed that was going on, so I clicked on it. But you might send something to the folks who hadn't rejoined just
Okay,
say
so
that the meeting is actually back on, because it wasn't
Yeah.
obvious from the email.
okay, welcome back, Marilyn. Okay, do we want to move on to the 5-year plan, or Tom, would you like us to wait till we get everybody back on, including your co-coach?
Tom's not here, or you mean Mike?
Did you mean Tom or did you mean me, Mike?
Oh, did I say Tom? Sorry, Mike. Steve K isn't on the line yet. Do you want him before you talk about the 5-year plan?
Well,
Excuse me, Steve Krensman cannot join. He has another commitment.
Oh, okay.
that answers that.
I did, Sandy, I sent what you said to Tom, but remember that Tom always goes to Board of Selectmen meetings. So he may be at this point planning to go to the Board of Selectmen meeting that we got knocked off for. But of course it will be only the executive session for the first part, but I did send it to him. Okay, so if we assume this is the gang we have, what we need in this discussion of the 5-year plan is an agreement that we will commit to it. Mike has given us the details. We've discussed it. We looked at it first in the March meeting. We discussed it in the April meeting. Are we ready to commit?
You know, I gotta say, I think it's an amazing plan, and I see I see the gap is this wide between what we're currently doing and what that's signing us up for, and I've lost track of it. I can't find it. Sorry, I'm sort of discombobulated, but I would really need to spend some time and to have us really talk it through. It's theoretically beautiful, but it's a pretty different lift than we've been doing, if I understand it right. So
Okay, what I've been doing in the meantime is looking at the Board of Selectmen and what their goals are. They have 10 goals listed, at least on the site, only one of which I would say pertains to us, and that's what they call support sustainability, which has 3 sub-tasks to it: Cape Cod Energy Park, solar installations, and energy conservation. They don't say a whole heck of a lot about it on their website, other than to say they're all on track, but they don't say what that means or anything. So at any rate, what I would be proposing to do between now and sometime in July is taking that draft plan that I put together and tailoring it to addressing the Board of Selectmen's goal there for support sustainability. Maybe try to flesh out some more details on those 3 subtasks.
So does that mean you'd like us to take this up in June then?
Well, I suppose so, yeah.
Okay.
can you resend us?
I'm aware that this will be the 4th time that we have taken it up, and I'm very aware that Mike put in work and thinking about this when he was in Hawaii, only to come back to Massachusetts and find that Massachusetts was not so efficient as it thought. Any other feedback for Mike on this?
Just one comment. The plan is great. I thought it was very well organized, presented a lot of good ideas. My only suggestion at this time would be to make some reference to Cape Light Compact and also to Eversource and National Grid. They do offer audits, energy audits. At the moment, they're offering virtual energy audits, but they, in the past, Joyce, as you well know, they have Rise Engineering come to your home and do a energy audit, and then they Rise does provide some devices In the past, it's been light bulbs, the pull-down stair cover, which I've found to be very effective. So I think we should include them in the plan, that we will work closely with them in coordination with them.
What
So-
does that mean? I mean, we go to 1 or 2 meetings a year over there to hear some things, but
Well, no, at any time
what would we do?
At any time of the year, these programs are offered. There are emails and mailers that come out from the Cape Light Compact, from Eversource, from National Grid, offering to do a in-home or a virtual survey to reduce energy consumption at your home. And that's an ongoing offer from them. So I think what we should say is, we will work in coordination with them, and we will promote those audits within the community. Joyce, do you have anything to add?
I know all about them. I've had them here twice.
Yeah.
So what would we do to promote them within Yarmouth that they're not currently doing?
Well,
I know I mention them from time to time at, when I used to, back when there used to be live Board of Selectmen meetings with humans present. I mention them from time to time, but my main outreach has been leaving stacks of the literature in Town Hall, where, of course, now nobody's going. So if you have an idea, Steve, on how to tuck in a way for Energy Committee to do more with the Cape Light Compact, are you thinking of something like a link from our part of the town website, or are you thinking of something like a little feature on our town part of the town
for example,
website?
one possibility would be, Bob Palmieri has his weekly meeting at the or weekly open session at the senior center. So there we could, at least to a certain portion of the population, we could get that information out to them. Okay, again, a handout. But I think as a matter of let's say commitment in the plan, I think we should commit to supporting that activity and promoting it as we see fit. Certainly, this is a 5-year plan. We can promote it now. We can promote it next year. I think we should promote it over the life of the plan, and it may take different forms in which we do that. We could do it at the senior center. We could do it at the town meeting. When we set up an energy committee table at the town meeting, we could have material there, making the public aware of this and encouraging them to participate. That's a couple of ideas.
Okay, I can see that. For instance, maybe we established a once a month meeting over at the senior center, similar to what Bob's doing, a once a month where we remind people about how they can go out and get free light bulbs and the rest of this stuff.
I don't know how to break it to you, Mike. They don't do the free light bulbs anymore.
No.
The capabilities, though,
Glad I got over that.
Yeah, Cape Light Compact stocks a light bulbs at capabilities at a very reasonable price. So I think again, making the town's people aware of that possibility, would be beneficial.
That would be great, a great thing to mention, not just for the compact, but for the various nonprofits where the things are available.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking some of them, not a wide selection, but some are also available at the Habitat Restore. And that kind of downstream where the cost is reduced in advance is a great thing for people to be able to take advantage of.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean capable. I meant at the Restore. They have a good
okay.
stock.
And hopefully we're going to be doing a wide range of outreach in connection with Solarize next year. And presumably a piece of that could also be encouraging, conservation measures. And in connection with the 5-year plan, it seems to me, to the extent we come up with strategies to do outreach in Yarmouth, to reach out to homeowners and talk about solar power and heat pumps and energy conservation, maybe part of the execution of the 5-year plan is that there's an ongoing outreach strategy to, not just kind of go to the meetings we already go to, but create opportunities to reach out to encourage consumers. I mean, this ensure energy efficiency remains consumers' first choice as a strategy for Goal 1. I assume that means a more active role for the Energy Committee than you've historically played in terms of going out into the community and getting into local meetings and talking to people about how useful this would be for them.
Susan, what about YCAN? Would that fit into the same sort of thing?
Right. It very much would in that goal number 2. And I think Barry's idea there is a really good one too, to build in the ongoing outreach, because that is within our current mission to do.
I think we've got to be thinking about transportation as well. It's an area we've not gotten into at all. We're encouraging people to think about changing their mode of transportation. I mean, maybe keep a car or do. I recently went to a hybrid, not by choice, but opportunity came to get a hybrid. I've done, and I think that's going to be one of the more important areas that we work on over the next couple of years.
Okay, I'll take some of these ideas.
Go ahead, Mike.
I'll take some of these ideas and try to weave it into what I currently have. Weave some stuff out and weave this in.
Okay. I was just going to say that the Cape Cod Regional Transit Authority has a really sharp head who used to be, I believe, a member of the General Court as opposed to the state Senate, but a state legislator in some capacity. And he's applied for a lot of grants, and they do a lot in greening their transportation. They have some big plans for more. I of course admire them because they have a wind turbine, a land wind turbine at their headquarters that they managed to get through. So it would be possible for us to get in touch with them and see maybe if they would like to send someone to talk about their plans for greening transportation, as an event that Energy Committee could sponsor but share with the public. Maybe at Sandy's library, or maybe not. We could see if Sandy invites us.
Speaking of Sandy, is there something that the Energy Committee could do more with education, schools? You're on mute.
No, I'm not on mute.
Sandy, you're on mute. Oh, you were. Okay.
No, as soon as we can open up, we can have a meeting. So as soon as we open up.
I thought we were having a meeting.
I know.
What is this? A tea party? You know what's confusing, Sandy, because of your connection down in Florida, you're coming in slower, so it's hard for you to partake. But if you raise a hand, all the rest of us will be quiet, and then we'll let you talk. It's just that, like, you're coming through a little after.
Well, we've lost Susan altogether, I think.
She was just there too.
She said she had another meeting.
Okay.
Ah. Okay.
So I'm a little bit confused. When I wasn't connected, did you talk about changing the minutes from before?
We talked about appointing a lifetime secretary. That was the main topic of conversation.
Oh, and hopefully it's not me. No,
Susan had a line on the YCAN that she thought belonged up in Solarize.
Okay. Yes, I was definitely confused about that. And so I had hoped that somebody would give me some direction, but nobody responded.
Okay. Well, Susan is apparently gone for now, but after this meeting, I'll tell her to say redraft the YCAN sentence and send it to you, and then you can decide about the part that applies to Solarize.
Okay.
Unless Barry wanted to tackle a YCAN definition, but I know it's hard to do these things on the fly. A kind of description of what YCAN was up to last meeting, that's kind of tough.
And I don't think I've seen the minutes that we're talking about, so.
Oh, okay.
No.
So then should we just not have them posted until this gets straightened out?
Yes, I think that's a good idea. Yeah.
Okay.
So
But
we
Susan
can't approve
presumably will
them.
be in touch within 24 hours. So I'll get her right after we adjourn.
But we won't be
I'll
able
send
to
her a
post them
text.
until we approve them.
Right.
So it won't
So
be till
we've
the next
approved
meeting.
them, and now there's one final edit. If you look at the minutes, I can tell you where it's going to fall. The edit is on page 2 with the, actually, yes, it's page 2. You know what we can do? We can just eliminate the YCAN thing and just say YCAN. Susan Starkey gave a brief update, because if you look, what it says now is Susan Starkey told the committee that the Massachusetts Clean Energy Center will be contacted regarding the schedule delay in the Solarize program due to the COVID-19 virus. So actually you could just YCAN Susan Starkey gave an update would be enough.
Okay.
Okay, so why don't we have a vote to include that further amendment to the minutes? Okay, can I have a motion to approve the minutes of our April 7th meeting with that edit on the YCAN section?
Yes, and do you want the rest of what it says about the schedule to be moved up to the Solarize Plus portion, or just eliminated?
Well, we're really covering that more this time. That was just the kind of, Mike, do you have a strong feeling?
Aye?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, yeah, just eliminate it. That's fine. And then with this meeting, Mike talked about the whole change in schedule. So that'll be enough. That'll be covered by this meeting's minutes.
Okay.
Okay, so can I have a motion to approve the minutes with that amendment?
So moved.
Okay, Bob, thank you.
Second.
We got
Oh.
this. Good. Mike?
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, we got that solved. Marilyn, we don't have to have any extra work for you after the meeting ends,
Okay.
other than this month's meetings minutes. Okay, so now back to today's agenda. Are we done then with the thinking about the 5-year plan for today? And we're going to take it up in a serious way at the June meeting and decide what we can commit ourselves to?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay. Our next item on the agenda is comments by Tom Barry on the petitioned article for this, the prospect of a solar field on the Links course. I believe his article is also not going to come up until the fall town meeting because of the streamlined June 22nd town meeting. But even if his article is coming up in June, there will still be an additional meeting where he can mention this. We already know about this, and this has been hanging fire for a while. So I'd say we'll just wait for him to get in touch with us, which he did after he missed his slot last time. Okay, now on to why can.
Joyce?
Susan, oh, yep.
Yeah, I
Steve?
would just have one comment again in regard to the 5-year plan. If we submit comments, email comments to that plan, I believe we should just address them, to the author, to Mike. I think if we CC everybody, it might be a open meeting law.
Oh,
No.
good. Yes. Good point, Steve, because that would be suasion if we sent it to everybody. So send individual suggestions to Mike and he'll, round them all up and decide which ones he's going to take. But good point, yes.
That the redistributed and discussed at a future
At the meeting, yeah. Okay. Barry, did you want to say anything about YCAN?
Well, just briefly, we did, readily agree to the town's request that we postpone consideration of the climate emergency article until the fall, if there's a fall town meeting. But we also reached out to Dan Knapnick, who, when we had talked to him about the climate emergency article, which he strongly supported, his suggestion to us was that this would be a good prelude to following up with a bylaw that he wanted to work on over the ensuing months that would be more binding and concrete. And the most specific thing he talked about was a requirement that future RFPs for town construction projects be required to evaluate net zero design options and evaluate them in terms of long-term costs and benefits and not just immediate construction costs. We reached out to Dan to say we would love to work with him so that in addition to the original emergency article, maybe it would be appropriate to look at that kind of bylaw by the fall. But Dan had talked about, that would need to be worked through with lawyers and be thoughtfully crafted. And it seems to me that would be a great role for the Energy Committee to work with the town administration on figuring out what the parameters should be for long-term consideration of those issues in town RFPs. And so we're, YCAN's happy to be part of that, but I think it's a great mission for the Energy Committee as well in terms of its broader role. So just wanted to throw that out.
That sounds good. I mean, we're lucky to have a town administrator who is so committed to energy sanity. Any questions for Barry? Nope. Okay, well, thank you, Barry. I guess that gets us down to members' comments and proposed agenda items. It does look like our next meeting will also be by remote. Hopefully we'll have the town server to ourselves, if that is the case, so that our meeting won't get interrupted. Anyone have anything they'd like to mention or that you'd like as a future agenda item? Sandy?
I would like to make sure that everybody subscribes to the Energy Committee website so that when the agenda gets posted, they can receive a text or an email. It'll have the agenda. Now, when we're doing the Zoom meetings, we should also have on the sheet links to any handouts or anything that we want to discuss so that all of us can just look at that link from our computers, or we can actually share it on the screen. So any handouts, like even the minutes of the meeting last time were put on there, and Mike's presentation was put on there. So on the bottom of the agenda, any handouts that we would have at the meeting go on that agenda. And then everybody will have a copy of it. And when you subscribe, you'll get the copy of it.
So how do you subscribe to the EC website?
You go onto the town website, and it will show you
Yeah.
how to subscribe to the different committees and what you want to go. I will look up after I hang up. I will look and get the directions and send it to everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sandy. Any other suggestions? I mean, Sandy really is making this happen. And I would just like to say, can we all give her a round of applause? She's in Florida running this on her own Zoom account because we got pushed off the town.
Do you pay?
Thank you.
Is that a subscription that you pay for through the school?
The
Sandy?
subscription is free right now with the schools. And they're
Because,
allowing us to have more than a 40-minute meeting without any payment because of the school.
I heard that the upgrade 5 to Zoom eliminated that 40-minute restriction for everybody.
It probably did.
Yeah.
But on the school account, it allowed us right from the beginning.
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay, well, I'd just like to say thank you to you all for persevering with this. Setting up this meeting was an adventure, as Sandy can also tell you. And I did not expect that the meeting itself would have these unexpected thrills, but slowly but surely we'll get through this crisis and we'll see each other in person again. Thank you all for reconnecting. It would have been a perfect excuse to run out into the sunshine, I realize, and I appreciate your coming back. Have a wonderful month, everyone.
Meeting adjourned.
Okay. Happy Cinco de Mayo.
Happy Cinco de Mayo, everybody.
Go have a margarita.
Good night.
Thanks again. Sandy, go have some time at the beach, okay?
It's too hot. It's 91.
Well, thank you all.
Just a quick update. My tropical flower is doing well. She was not able to get out of the tropics in time. They cut off the flights 2 days before she was scheduled to
Oh,
come
no.
back. And so she's there for the long run, but she's doing well.
Oh,
Awesome.
good. I'm glad she's okay. And,
Yeah,
and
we're
we'll have to
WhatsApp.
send her updates that you're okay.
Yeah, well, we're on WhatsApp now, so we can talk for hours at a time.
Oh, that's cute, just like teenagers.
Exactly.
Well, I think I heard a motion to adjourn and a second and a vote, something like that.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
you did.
Oh, okay then. Well, thank you very much, everybody, and see you sort of in a month.
All right.
Okay,
Good night.
thank you.
Good
Night.
night.
Right.